Hey guys, Concerned American here. I've been debating for a while about putting this video up. This is an event that happened back on September 24th. My family and I, my husband and three of our kids went to Belle Isle for just a day at the beach. It was, one of the last really warm days that we had. And we went down there. We were having a great day. And then this incident happened. There was a woman who was parked right to the left of that blue line you see, up right where all those people are. And she, instead of reversing, she somehow went forward and did a complete turn and smacked into the building. And that's the van you see up in the top right there. Sorry, I'm recording this on my phone, and excuse my voice. I've been fighting an illness, so I haven't really fully recovered my voice yet. So I know I sound terrible. Well, anyway, I had came up from the beach when I found out about what happened, and I kind of recorded the incident, walked around, talked to a few witnesses, talked to a few people, just walked around recording and just kind of explained the whole situation. And I was going to put that on YouTube. And in the process of me doing that, what had happened was a woman had came up to me and started telling me that I had no right recording, that she did not, or that I did not have her permission to record me, so that I had no business recording her, which I wasn't recording her directly. I was just recording everything that was going on. And I didn't say a whole lot to her other than just that, no, I'm sorry, you are incorrect. We are in a public place. I have every right to film anybody here. Then she began to start threatening me, and I just kind of walked away from her. I think I said something like, "Oh, so you're threatening me now," and I just kind of walked away from her. And I had found one of the cops that were still standing around, and I went and informed him what happened. And from that point there, I was treated very poorly, as far as I'm concerned. I was a victim of a woman threatening me. And the only thing the cop told me to do, and I do have this on video too, which I can record or post that at some point as well. But instead of him going over and talking to her or doing anything about it, he tells me to go stand at my car. And I'm walking right now from my car, which I had been standing at my car at this point for probably almost a half hour. And at this time, it had been at least an hour, but I think it was maybe a little longer than an hour since the whole incident had happened. All the emergency vehicles were gone other than some of the police, but like the fire truck and the ambulances that were there were gone. All the witnesses had been interviewed. Most of the people had left. So there wasn't really a whole lot going on, just a lot of people standing around. And I had been waiting for a long time, and I did not have my keys. And the cop knew that because he walked with me to my car. He walked with me down to the beach to go and tell my family, my husband and my kids, what happened, and that I had to wait at the car, which I found just ridiculous. And then after he walked down there with me, he walked back with me to my car, and then he said, "Where's the keys to your car?" Because apparently he wanted me to sit in my car, and mind you, it was really warm out this day. And I told him, I was like, "Well, they're down at the beach with my husband." And he's like, "Oh, okay, well, just stay here at your car." And then he walked away. And like I said, I sat there for at least a half hour. And in the time I was standing there, there was a woman that was sitting in her car next to me that was a victim of the situation that had happened. The car had there were people sitting where the lady went up and turned, and she knocked some of the people over in their chairs, knocked over a barbecue that was going, almost hit some kids. I mean, could have been a really bad situation. It could have been much worse than it was. I do believe that there was one person taken in an ambulance. And this woman was knocked back in her chair, and I had a discussion with her for a while. I interviewed her on film and everything. But what she was telling me was that she was debating on going to the hospital because she was in quite a bit of pain. And she was talking about that she didn't write down the license plate number for the van, and she didn't get any information in case she needed it. And I told her that I had to go down and get my keys anyway from my husband. And I said that I would make sure that I got a shot of the license plate on my way down. So what this video is of that, me going down there. And on the way down there, you're going to hear, the first thing you're going to hear is a female cop say to me, "Where are you going?" And then she immediately says, "We don't need you recording over here." So you can tell that the problem wasn't that I was walking through there, because you can see there's people everywhere. That wasn't the issue. The issue was that I was recording, and she didn't like the fact that I was recording. And this situation went from like 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. This is, in my opinion, a textbook example of a police officer bullying and intimidating somebody to get them to do something. And I wasn't trying to be, I know I probably could have just simply walked away immediately when the male officer said something, but he was even being fairly aggressive with me right off the bat and accusing me of saying that I had been told 3 times not to walk through there, which was a complete lie. Nobody had ever said anything to me about not walking through there. In fact, the only other time I had walked through there was with the police officer when he took me down there to tell my husband that I had to stay at the car to wait for him to come and talk to me about this woman threatening me. And then you're also, right after she says that, you're going to hear the officer that told me to wait by my car say, "Didn't I tell you to wait at your car?" And I said, yes. I was like, but I was talking to this woman, and then, I decided I wanted to go get my keys. And so then basically he's trying to tell me to go down there and get my keys and get my family and leave, because he didn't want any issues with the woman that was threatening me. So forget about the woman that was threatening me. It was okay that she was threatening me. But my family, me and my family, we had to leave because she was threatening me. She didn't have to leave. Me and my family had to leave. And I just pretty much told him that, we weren't planning on leaving yet. And at this point, our whole day had kind of been ruined because, like I said, I had been sitting at the car all this time. I only planned on going up there, recording a little bit of what was going on, and then going right back down to the beach with my family. And then, so you're going to see what happens here. I ended up getting arrested. You're going to see how everything unfolded, and you're going to see the female cop just immediately jump right in my face and start screaming at me because I didn't walk away immediately. She started talking about that I wasn't obeying a police officer's order, and at first I said it was an unlawful order, because when she originally said that, for some reason, I was really taken aback by the whole situation, by how fast everything happened and how fast she just jumped in my face. She got right in my face. I had to step back from her. She was right up in my face. And so it kind of really threw me off. And when she first said, you're not following a police order, I thought she was talking about the original cop, because they were kind of standing there when I was talking to him. And he told me to go ahead, and they heard all this. But then when I started walking again, her and the other male cop that was with her stopped me and started talking to me again. So, I wasn't trying to get in their way or anything, but they stopped me again. And the guy blatantly lied and said I had been told 3 times not to walk through there, which never happened, like I said. And then I was just kind of explaining to him what I was doing. And then he said, okay, go. And I said, no, that's fine. I'll go down there. And then I went to say about my car. And that's all I got out. As soon as I said that, that's when she jumped in my face. And what I was going to say, all I was going to say was that my car's right here. So I have to go get my keys. So, I'll come back around, but I'm going to be at my car. Because I didn't want there to be any more issues. I didn't want him to see me back at my car and think, oh, well, I told her to stay down here on the other side of the sand. What is she doing back up here? And I didn't want it to create more problems. And the cop that had, told me to stay at my car was standing right next to me the whole time. So it wasn't like he wasn't there and he didn't know what was going on. He could have piped up and said something, but, whatever. It doesn't matter. But so all I was trying to do was just simply tell him my car's right here. So that's where I'm going to be. And I didn't get the words out before the female cop by the name of Dawn Zonka, Zonca, immediately jumped into my face. And she's a Michigan State police officer. So I'm just going to kind of play it. If I have anything else to add in, I will add it in. And I just want you to see how quick this happened. So, and I apologize that it got filmed in the long version. I'm still kind of new with this filming thing and trying to upload to YouTube and, so I apologize for that. But anyway, here we go. Okay, at that point right there, when you see her step forward, because I stepped back from her when she originally got in my face, and right there, she stepped forward and she thrusted the lower half of her body into my body. So this is clear intimidation. She was bullying me and intimidating me as far as I'm concerned. Like I said, yes, I could have just immediately walked away when that guy said something to me, but I was just simply trying to talk to him and explain to him like I wasn't being rude. And it actually kind of irritated me. Excuse me. You know, that he just flat out lied. And it was the third time that somebody had said something to me. And that's just not even true. I had been at my car for a half hour before that. And like I said, the only time I even walked through there was with the other officer that I was just speaking to, who is standing right next to me while she's doing this. And I wasn't disobeying. You guys clearly heard me say that I was going to go down there. And I just said, but my car, and that's when I was just going to simply say, my car is right there. So I'm going to go down there and get my keys. And then, I have to go around and I'm going to be at my car. So that's all I was trying to say. And then I was going to walk away. That was it. And you can see her she literally just flew off the handle. And this is the result of that. And I did get very upset with her the way that I'm not the type of person. I'm just not the type of person. I don't care who you are. You can be a police officer. That's fine. But when you get in my face and you bully me and try to intimidate me the way that she did for absolutely no reason, there was no reason for what she did. I never told the officer no. I wasn't arguing with him about leaving in any way. I told him clearly that yes, I'll go down there, that that's not a problem. And then she just got in my face and I tried to step back from her. And then she got even closer to me to get in my face even more. And then she literally thrusted the whole lower part of her body. She took a step forward and thrusted the lower part of her body right into my stomach. And that's what happened at that point. And then she tried to deny it and lie and say that I bumped into her when I stepped back from her. Anyway, I'll continue it. So that's like I said, I know I could have just immediately walked away, and I was planning on walking away as soon as I just explained to the officer that I was going to be in my car, because I know how cops are, and I didn't want him to turn around and see me at my car a few minutes later and there to be some issue because I was at my car, which was directly behind. You saw how far my car was. It was directly behind pretty much where they were standing, or where we were standing at this point. And so I have to go to court tomorrow morning, and I'm pretty nervous about what happened. But what they actually charged me with, which this is interesting, because they arrested me for disobeying a police officer's order. That's what she tells me she's arresting me for, which was ridiculous. And the whole way to the police department, I kept asking her repeatedly what I was being charged with. She would not answer me at all. She refused to answer what I was being charged with. And when I was sitting in the room when my husband got there to pick me up, and I was sitting in the room with them, it took them 10 minutes to figure out what to put on the ticket, because I don't know how their system works, but whatever they kept trying to put in the system on the ticket, it kept rejecting it for what the charge was. And they went through multiple different things, multiple different charges, and that it kept not working. And they kept like, well, try this number. Oh, okay, well, that's not working. Try this number. So it had something to do with a number for a charge they were putting in, and it was rejecting it. So what they ultimately ended up charging me with on my ticket was disorderly person, obscene conduct. And you can clearly tell by the video, at least in my opinion, at no point was I being disorderly or obscene unless you consider me not backing down to her intimidation and her harassment and her bullying. If you consider that to be disorderly person or obscene conduct, then I guess you could look at it that way. And then in the notes section of the remarks section of the ticket, they put interfering with police investigation at crime scene. And neither of those were ever said to me at any point. The only thing that was ever said to me was disobeying a police officer's order, which I never did. I never said that I wouldn't go. The only thing I did was ask her why she was in my face, why she had to get in my face, and why she then had to thrust her body up against me, which, I mean, that is technically battery, what she did. And she didn't like the fact that I stood up to her. She didn't like the fact that I was recording to start with. That's why she had the attitude that she did. And she didn't like the fact that I didn't just cower away from her like most people would do when she started intimidating me and bullying me the way that she did. She just couldn't have that. So that's why she chose to arrest me. And then I didn't even get charged with disobeying a police officer. So obviously I have the video. I plan on taking it to court tomorrow morning. It's just, the thing is, I have no record with police whatsoever. I've never been in trouble with the law for anything in my life that was anything my fault. I mean, I had one incident with police many years ago, over 10 years ago, which again had nothing to do with being my fault at all. But there was never any charges that went on my record for that or anything. So I've never had any real issues with the law. I've never been arrested for breaking any kind of laws. So this just bothers me that, now this is a misdemeanor and it's likely going to go on my record when I don't honestly think I did anything wrong. I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm sure some of you are going to disagree with me. I'm sure some of you are going to think that there's absolutely nothing wrong with the way that Don Zonka behaved at this situation, or even the male officer, who I don't know his name, either of them, the one telling me that I needed to leave with my family because he didn't want any more issues when I was the one that was being threatened. And then the other one lying, saying that I had been told 3 times not to walk through there, which never happened. I mean, I had my camera going pretty much the entire time. So I have quite a bit of time of video, and never once anywhere on any of these videos did anyone tell me not to go through there, which I never even walked through there other than with the police officer the one time. So the whole situation is just boiled down to this woman did not like the fact that I did not let her bullying and intimidation affect me the way that it would affect most people. Most people would just be like, okay, I'm so sorry, I'm leaving right now. And, all I wanted to say was, look, my car is right there. I'm going to be back at my car. I just wanted to let you know so that there isn't any more problems. And I was going to walk away. That's it. That's all I was going to say. That would have been the end of it. And then this woman, she jumped in my face and started screaming at me for no reason. I wasn't saying, no, I'm not going to listen to you. I wasn't arguing with him, saying, no, I'm not going to go down there. You can clearly hear me say, yeah, I'll go down there. That's no problem. But my car, and I was going to go and say my car is right there. And that's where I have, I'll be back there. But anyway, I wanted to get this out there. Like I said, I've kind of gone back and forth with whether or not I wanted to post this, and I figured, you know what, screw it. I'm going to post it. I actually originally planned on posting it because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't have a lawyer. I can't afford a lawyer. So I'm going into this blind. I didn't even get the information in the mail because my information that they had in the system when I called the court to find out why I didn't receive anything, they had my address in the system wrong, even though the address is printed correctly on my ticket. So I never received any of the information in the mail. And if I hadn't called, I never would have known about the court date. And I wouldn't have showed up. And when I did call, the court date was only 3 days away from the day that I called. And so they actually were nice enough to reschedule that court date for me because there's no way that I could make it. But, it wasn't my fault because I didn't receive the information in the mail because somebody entered the information in the system wrong, and I have a feeling that it was the cop. I honestly believe that it was her or the male officer that she was with that put it in there wrong, just so that I wouldn't get the paperwork in the mail, and then I wouldn't show up to court, and then I'd have a warrant out for my arrest. And I could be wrong. I will give you that. I could be wrong. But you have to see how this whole situation looks, and it really looks to me like that was intentional, because the information on the ticket is correct, but the information entered into their system for me to get the mailing is not even close to my address. Not even close. So that just to me seems to be intentional. And I just got lucky that I called when I did, because I would have been so screwed. I'm bothered by this whole situation because I don't know. I could go there and, these charges could stick, and then this is going to go on my permanent record. And I can't afford a lawyer to help me fight this. I have 4 kids. Right now, we only have one income. I have, unfortunately, I'm not going to go into my whole life story, but unfortunately, I have some medical issues, so I can't work. So we're just going off my husband's income right now. And so things are really, we're barely making our mortgage payment every month, let alone trying to pay a lawyer because of, this situation. And had I known this was going to happen, I would have just immediately walked away. But I didn't think that, I was doing anything wrong. I said that, yes, no problem, I'll go down there. And I don't even know why they stopped me to begin with. They knew I was already talking to the one cop. He just told me to go down there. And so that I don't see why there was any reason for them to stop me, a second later and literally harass me, because that's basically what they did, and then lied. And that I don't like when people lie. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. I cannot stand liars at all. So the fact that he lied, I had to say something. I had to defend myself and say, no, you're incorrect. No one has ever said anything to me about coming through here. So, like I said, I know some of you aren't going to agree with me, but I know that there are a lot of you out there that are going to see the situation for what it is and see that she was completely in the wrong with what she did. They took me away from my family. My 3 kids, I had no idea what was going on. They're young. They're very young. So they just know that mom got taken away by the cops. They have no idea what for. They know that I was arrested. And it was just, and we had to go pick up my other son when we left there. So we were late for picking him up. So it was just, it was ridiculous. The whole thing was completely unnecessary. And not only that, the other thing is too, she put the handcuffs on me extremely tight. I have videos and pictures of the bruising and cuts around my wrists from the handcuffs. And also the next day after the incident, I lost all feeling in my right hand, and that lasted for almost a week. And to this day, I have numbness and tingling in my left hand, going down my index finger and my thumb and on my hand, going up to my wrist. So, and that's been ever since the incident, ever since the handcuffs. And I told her repeatedly that they were too tight, and she absolutely refused to loosen them. I even told her that I have issues with my wrists. She still wouldn't loosen them. Just, she was going out of her way to torment me, basically. And I firmly believe it is simply because I did not bow down to her. She's a public servant. She works for us. She works for me. And because I didn't bow down to a public servant, this is how she treated me. How they all treated me. Because they all stood there and let it happen. And it was obviously a huge embarrassment for me, because when they had me sitting in the cop car for a while, the woman that was originally threatening me, her and her friends came up to the cop car, and were standing there at the cop car flipping me off and like saying all kinds of stuff to me through the cop car because they saw me. It was just it was unbelievable, and it never should have happened. And I'm sorry, but I think they were 100% in the wrong. And I don't know what's going to happen to my family now. I don't know what's going to happen to me. If we have to pay money when I go to court tomorrow, we're going to be screwed because we don't have any money. We just don't have it. We've got Christmas coming up where we can't even figure out how we're going to give our kids a Christmas this year because things are so tight. And then this has to be happening on top of it. And I know some of you are going to blame me, and that's fine. Those of you that see this for what it is, I would appreciate it if you would share this video. I don't expect anyone to do anything or to help in any way. But if there is anyone out there that is willing to help in any way, that is in Michigan, that knows a lawyer that would be willing to help in any way. I know that my court date's tomorrow, but I don't know what exactly the court date is. It was never explained to me. They never sent the information to me. Even when I got a new court date, they never sent me the information. They said that because they gave me the information over the phone, that they were just going to write that I was phone notified and they weren't going to send the information. So I don't even know exactly what's going to happen tomorrow. Is this just kind of like a pre-hearing thing and I'll have to go back? Am I still, I don't know what exactly is going to happen at this point. All I know is we don't have any money. And I'm not begging anybody for anything, but if there's anyone that is willing to help in any way, whether it be legal means, a lawyer, anything, I have to be at the district court in Detroit, the 36th district court in Detroit tomorrow, because this was through the Michigan State Police that arrested me. If anybody wants to call the court and maybe tell them what you think about the situation, the number is 313-965-8700. Again, that's 313-965-8700. Their website is www.36th, so 36th, and then districtcourt.org. So you could probably go on there and maybe email them. I don't know. The best thing to do would probably be to call them. I got somebody on the phone pretty easily when I called. So if there's anyone that is willing to help that way, I would be forever grateful. I also did, again, I'm not begging for anything, so please don't think it that way. But I did set up a GoFundMe, and I don't even have a description on it or anything because honestly, like I said, I wasn't really sure I was going to post this. But I will post a link for the GoFundMe in the description of this video, just in case there's anyone that wants to help in any way, in case, I do have to fork over any money tomorrow, or if they even work out some kind of payment plan with me or something. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm sure that, they always side with the cop. I've been through some court cases with my son. It seems like no matter how wrong they are, you just can't win, especially if you don't have a lawyer, and I can't afford a lawyer. So, and I know most of you know that if you don't have a lawyer, you're just screwed. And we couldn't even afford to buy the kids Halloween costumes this year. We had to kind of make up our own. So yeah, we definitely can't afford to be putting out any extra money. So, or if you could, if you don't want to help in any way, or you can't help in any way, maybe the best thing that you could do is just share this video, maybe send it to some cop watch organizations or cop block or whatever, to any organizations that you think might maybe possibly be able to help. I would really greatly appreciate it. I mean, I can't even describe how much I would appreciate any help, because I'm really scared, because I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, this could be no big deal, but it could be a big deal. I don't know, because I've never faced something like this before. So anyway, I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch the video. I'm sorry for the length of it. I hope it didn't bother you. Please, if you have any negative comments, just don't bother, okay? I don't need to deal with it. If you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say it. The old age saying. For those of you that are willing to support me in any way, I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for watching. You guys all have a great rest of the night. Bye.